Hello, hello, folks. How's it going? I hope all is well. Tonight, we are back with more Valheim, and I'm joined by a very special guest tonight. You know him, you love him. Welcome back, Dad!
Yeah, okay, whatever.
Hey!
Hey.
So, I haven't even hopped into the game yet. I know I was late. Dinner was made, and I didn't want it to go cold because I'll be doing this for like 3 hours. But we're here now. It is all ready to go. We're gonna get into it. I am using a different controller. And it's not on because this is one that I have to turn on. It's not just automatically on. It's an Xbox controller instead of a Switch controller. So if I get a little funky with the controls, I'm blaming it on that.
Sure.
That's
Blame it on the controller.
Uh-huh, I know. Only a poor craftsman blames his tools, right? I'm blaming my tools today, though. Okay. Let's see, I don't remember how to do... That's how. I'm goofing with some Fenris gear. I think I can just go in here, right? Yeah. What's the button again? Rats. The buttons are reversed. So I have to figure that out. Nope. That is now the sit button. How do I do this? No, go back up. Cool, alright. So the plan today, we're gonna vibe for a bit. We might do some exploring. I'm not gonna promise anything. Just cause, you know, we're chilling, we're vibing. We're getting back into it.
Well, and I only have 3 things from my list.
Oh?
Yeah, harvesting copper, making boxes for Ashland inventory items, and exploring the landmass by Haldor, Hildir, and the Bugwitch.
Ah. Well, I have something a little different. And that is replanting my trees. Because I went on a tree fest. Actually, pretty much the entirety of last stream was trees. Kind of funny. And then right at the very end, very end, Gerhafa showed up. Well, you're pretty far out. What are you doing over here? Anyway, it appears I planted some trees a little too close. Whoopsies. But yeah, that sounds especially we could definitely do some exploring. Yeah, I want to try something. What if I do it like this? Oh, I see. That's why I was having trouble with my triggers. Does it only register when it's completely down? No, registers here. So this controller has, you can change how far down you need to press the trigger for it to work. And if I have it set all the way up, so it's like barely a press, then Valheim doesn't actually read it. It is good to know. Was that the last of it? Yes, it was. Okay, we're gonna have a gap. That's okay. So yes, now I'm gonna get set to explore. So, how does it feel to be back? I'm pretty happy that you're back.
Feels good.
Yeah. It was weird riding solo that one day. Nice to have some companionship, some color commentary again. Okay, no, you don't have to sit. It's okay. Button. There we go. Yeah, a lot of video watching went down. Lots of videos were watched. And I don't know, at least for my part, I ended up downloading more games. But I still kind of play, but old death. Oh, these are not places I want to go. Alright. I don't actually remember where I was. I don't know, we could... Prince is near, Bogwitch. Head to Prince and explore over there. That's not where I was last time, but I don't remember where I was last time. Okay, what do I need, though? Hold on. One of these was empty, wasn't it? Which one are you? Please don't be Ashlands. Aha! It's not! This is where I was last time. Perfect. Because look out, right there. Nope, not that button. Get up, please. Thank you. We'll even do this. So yeah. Just getting back into the swing of stuff, I feel. But this one will be more exciting than last stream, because I'm actually killing. Now, is this still? Yes, it is. Okay. I've kind of taken a more aggressive approach than I tend to, I just realized. Oh, that's my stamina. My stamina. Come here. Face the wrath of my sword. Ouch. Oh, oh man, I should have rolled. Hey! I don't think so, man. I'd asked a little bit ago, and I don't remember if I got an answer, of, things you've been watching. You mentioned you found a few lists for, sci-fi movies, like underrated sci-fi movies.
Yeah, it's the long-forgotten sci-fi from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and the always overlooked sci-fi from the 60s, 70s, 80s, right?
Right.
Yes, everybody has their list. So I watched through quite a few of those lists and realized, hey, I've watched most of these. And yeah, then a bunch of historical stuff, and some deconstruction of movies. You know, why this movie did well, why this movie didn't do well. You know, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So just kind of trying to occupy my time until I got to a position where I was a little bit more mobile and yeah, could move around and do stuff again.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've been doing pretty well about that. When you're stuck in a hospital bed for a while, you know, your legs are gonna take a hit.
Everything atrophies when you're stuck in a bed. Yeah. So, and basically they say for every day that you are stuck in bed, it takes 3 to 4 days out of bed just to rebuild where you were, right? And so I was in that hospital bed for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's going to take a while before I'm back to where I was, unfortunately.
But you are already making great strides.
I'm making progress, but it's slow going, and it's frustrating that it's slow going.
Yeah. Well, you gotta get back into the swing of things with your body. You gotta get it used to moving again.
I know.
Like I said, I feel like you're already making really good progress, because I was a little worried about you taking the stairs, but you've been doing them pretty well. So that was really cool to see. Like, I think I mentioned last stream, I was like, yeah, maybe like mid next week, and here you are.
Yep.
Hey! Alright, get back here, bug. Where are you? I have my special fly swatter. There you go. Yeah. But yeah, good progress, and I feel like every day you will improve.
That's the plan.
Yeah. Alright. Well, it looks like we've wiped everyone out here. I did mark this. Alright. It's actually surprisingly in the correct spot. Huh. I gauged that one pretty well. I didn't gauge the tar pit well.
What's that up in the sky to your left?
That?
Left? Okay. Just
I was
dig
wondering.
the shell. It's all right.
I was wondering maybe if you were looking like. Where would it be from here? It might be all the way up there. Yeah, it'd be up there. That's where the giant tower is. You can't even see it from down here.
Gotcha.
That's really cool. Alright, anyway. I was wondering if maybe you'd caught a glimpse. So here's what I'm going to do. Not that. Not what I meant to do. Yeah, no. Wrong thing. Correct button. Wrong item. Just gonna do that real quick. I'm gonna bring all this over here. Oh, hello. I did kill things over here. Whoopsies. Any other sparklies? Yeah, besides the ones that I dropped. I don't think so. I think I got it. Alright. Oh, okay. Alright. Got everything. Oh, concerning my old controller. My pride and joy, my red controller. I picked up a new cord for it. Based on the, I took the little code off of the side, and based off of that, it's supposed to be like a micro USB thing. So, I found a cord that is supposed to go with it, and hopefully it will be a proper replacement. And it should get here in a couple days.
Cool.
So hopefully soon I'll be able to go back to my beloved controller. Because I actually found, well, you can get a good look at it. That side of it. Here's the other side. So this is the top of it right here. You can see on the bottom.
Yep.
At the
Definite split in short situation.
yeah. You can see that it's a white cable, and the part of the cable where it's split is starting to turn black. So it's been singed a couple times. Did not realize that was happening. Like I said, that was on the bottom of it, so I didn't see it until I actually unplugged it to look. Because I was like, okay, is it the controller itself, in which case I'll need to just keep using this one, or is it the cord, in which case I can grab a replacement and then just get to use my favorite still. And, you know, saw that and was like, it's a good chance it's the cord. So hopefully that fixes it. And like I said, if it doesn't, I mean, I've got this replacement. I'm not happy with it so far. I mean, I'm happy to have the replacement. It's serving its purpose. But I obviously have a preference. It feels a little... Going from a Switch controller to an Xbox controller is a little weird. It's, the Xbox controller is definitely bigger. So it's weird, You know, this came up the other day. With, like, the mini cams, remember? Mm. So, I have small hands. That comes with being kind of a smaller person. And so a lot of times when I'm holding something, it'll feel just kind of slightly too big for me. You know, just slightly cumbersome, doesn't quite fit well in my hands. And Xbox controllers are definitely in that category of slightly too big for my hands. But the Switch controller fits in my hands, since it's smaller, right? You know, it feels like it's actually made for someone with my hands. Which includes me. So like I said, it was a little weird, but hopefully I'll get to use my favorite again. This was not a big camp right here.
Nope.
It shouldn't take too long to ferry everything back too.
And yet you're already full.
Yes. Oh, it'll do that. It so loves. It still loves to fill my inventory with things. But I also run to grab the things, so whose fault is it really? Yum. There we go. Okay, and the rest of it should go inside, I think. Grab a couple more of those, we're already there. So yeah, what sparked that conversation, when we were still in the hospital, Dad requested, my aunt came to visit, and my dad requested, while we were out and about, if we could find, some grapefruit soda for him. Mm-hmm. And the only cans we could find were the mini cans, you know, the smaller, definitely, like, the more cylindrical ones, right? And so, you know, we brought those back, and, you know, Dad and I toasted with them, and it was like, oh, I just realized, I can hold these cans a lot better. They fit so much better in my hand. This is nice. Is this what you get every time? This is nice. We finally have something to smelt. What do you go to? Hold on, who do you go to? Where are we? Oh, I know where we are. Yeah, okay, I know where we are. Good to know. Oh yeah, there's like 3 programmable buttons on the back here too. There's 2, like one where my middle finger would go, one for each, and then there's like this middle one in the back that might be like a reset. What do you mean I don't have oh, I'm supposed to go upstairs for that. That would explain things, wouldn't it? Okay. There we go. Yep. Nope. Well, aha! The return! Yeah, I think you missed it too, Dad. At the very end of last stream, I ended up... I was beset upon by wolves. But not just any wolves, the two-legged variety.
Not called friendly, what are they?
Fenrings.
Yeah.
The Fenrings, the cultists, and led by Girhafa.
Yep.
Yes, and then it was while I was having the controller issues, and then he popped up.
Yep.
So I was like, crap, I have to fight these guys while I'm struggling. But it ended up being just fine. Alright, so now we can go through here. I don't think we have anything else to drop off. No, we don't. And my Viking's gonna be popping a lot of squats tonight. Working the glutes.
A lot of sitting down.
Uh-huh. Getting up and down and up and down. So be like, man, why am I squatting so much? Why aren't I just moving like normal? Me. Crap, I hit the wrong button again. There we go. Yeah, I think today I'd definitely like to focus more on exploration than I did last time. It's something a little more amusing to watch. Okay, but let me walk through the, we can do that. Didn't I have a portal thing over here? No, I guess not. I didn't have a marker for it. That's okay. I mean, it's a temporary anyway. It's coming with me. So, is there anything that you missed that you're happy to get to do again? real head scratcher, this one.
Yeah, well, because it's like, I still got to do the stuff that, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you on that one.
That's fair.
I mean, I miss my mobility, but it's coming back slowly.
Yeah, I suppose that's fair.
Now, I do like being able to go to sleep whenever I want, and not having somebody come in and do a insulin test, 15 times.
Oh my gosh. They really would. It was every 4 hours they would come in and prick his finger.
It was more than every 4 hours.
That's true. Yeah, it was like when they were bored, they'd come in and poke him. I was like, why? Can't you find something else to do?
Yep. Yeah, so when they weren't doing an insulin test, they were doing blood culture tests. So yeah, it was like one day I think I had 10 blood draws, and it's like, come on, seriously? How much blood do you need? And then they're like, oh no, your
hemoglobin's low.
your
We need to give you
hemoglobin's
more
low.
blood.
It's like, well,
Boy, I wonder why. Vampires in the night.
Right. So yeah.
I remember that because they were like concerned about it. They're like, man, we don't know why your hemoglobin is low. I was like, how many blood draws did you do yesterday, and how many did you do today? Think about that for a moment. Just a moment. I promise it'll come to you.
It's like, yeah, because when you see, if you've ever had a blood transfusion, you've seen, you'll know what I mean about the size of the bag. It's pretty small, really. And they had definitely taken more than that for all their blood samples during those 2 days. And then we're like, yeah, your hemoglobin's low. It's like, really?
I am surprised.
Probably because I could have filled 2 of those bags with how much blood you took yesterday and how much blood you took today, and that might be why I'm a little low.
Cue the sheepish coughing, because the
Yeah.
I was like, yeah. Yeah, and then doctors that were definitely what's a good way to put it? 'Cause, like Aaron,
Ultra cautious.
yeah,
Ultra cautious would be the way to put it. Which you appreciate them being cautious, but it was when you're talking a tenth of 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 a percent. And it's like, well, do I have any other indicator that says this? No, you only have one out of like 10. Like, so then why are we trying to chase this down? It's just some of those kinds of things. And so, yeah, I ended up telling a doctor, no, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Which is abnormal. Normally it's like, hey, you listen to the doctor, and the doc says, yeah, I kind of need this test done. It's like, hey, that's great and everything, but after being pin-cushioned for so many days and stuck in bed for so many days, and it's like, okay, now you're just grasping at straws.
yeah, and then it's like, is the doctor bored?
Yep. Yeah, it kind of makes you wonder.
Yeah.
But no, I'm thankful that the medical industry is there to help people. But it's just sometimes you run into a doctor or two that you're like,
I don't like this one.
Yeah. I kind of disagree with this one. Yeah.
Yeah, we've run into a couple like that where it's like, just like they're, especially when it comes to like bedside manner, how they talk to you.
Oh yeah.
It's like, maybe a little more respect would be appreciated.
Well, and you look at it too. I mean, when you're in the hospital, you're one patient that they're seeing for 10, 15 minutes of their day, right?
Right.
And so, they're seeing 20, 30, 40 patients, let's say, in a day. And so they don't necessarily have a whole lot of time. But, how do I want to say this? My big complaint is If I'm asleep and you walk in my room and you poke me and then you start asking me complicated questions when I've just woken up, and you're trying to sign me up for medical procedures when I've just woken up, it's like, no, no, sorry. You know, this particular doctor was one that I had not met before.
This was first introduction.
So yeah, so she walks in, she pokes me, and she starts asking me all these questions. Then she starts telling me all these different things that we're going to be doing, and I'm like, who? Wait a minute, who are you? You know, I don't even know your name. I don't know what department you're from. Where you know, where is this coming from? And then finally, it was just, you know what? I'm just going to flat out say no to whatever you're saying right now. I'm just going to flat out say no. Because you're not even letting me wake up before you're trying to get me to sign my life away. You know, that's how it felt. And it was, you know, no pressure for this, but I'm going to ask you 14 times in the next hour.
And then she had the nurses continue to ask.
Right, you know, so yeah, so there's definitely a difference in opinion of appropriate bedside manner. So yeah, so and some of the nurses too, they're like, yeah, that one's a little, yeah.
She gets a little pushy.
Yep. And so, you know, they're kind of stuck in the middle, but.
Yeah. It's like, I'm only asking because I have to, but such and such, right?
Yep. Anyway.
Yeah, you get good ones and you get bad ones. Nurses and doctors alike.
Yep. Yeah, because then we ended up. One of the better ones decided to get back involved, even though I wasn't on his rotation anymore, just to start explaining things a little bit more. And as soon as he got back involved and actually he took the time to listen, right? And it wasn't all academic to him. You know, he actually had the bedside manner. You know, he seemed to care about what he was doing. So, but yeah, essentially, once he got back involved, and then his partner got back involved, and it was, hey, you know, this is all we're trying to do. It's like, and that's great, and I'm probably going to do this anyway. But you know, the way this went down is not the way to do it.
Yeah, it's like if she had explained it this way, it would have been okay.
Well, or just, you know, went, oh, you're sleeping, either I'll come back or I'll wait until you're awake, right? It's just one of those things. When you wake somebody up from a dead sleep and then start flinging stuff at them, not a positive look.
Rest a while and remember Ulf, who carved this stone with his own hand, but could think of nothing to say. Thank you, Ulf.
With his really strong hand to just carve stone.
Carve stone. I wish we could do that. Yeah, but going back, yeah, some folks need to work on their bedside manner a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to you know what the problem is and you know how to address it, but you've also got to in a way you've got to kind of sell it to the patient.
Yep, sometimes you do, especially when it's a small percentage, and it's going to cause more pain.
Yes.
And potentially a lot longer recovery time.
Yep.
So yeah.
And this doctor did not know how to sell it.
No, not at all. I mean, it worked out in the end. I ended up doing the procedure, and things were okay, and you know, and here we are today. No, and I'm sure she was smart as a whip. I mean, you don't get to be a doctor by not being at least somewhat intelligent, right?
Right.
But yeah, it was she was one of those. She had a lot of book smarts, not a lot of people smarts. Just did not know how to deal with people very well.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
So great study partner, but not the person you want talking to your parents. You know what I mean about end of life choices, kind of a deal.
Yes. Yeah. You want someone with a little more compassion.
Yeah.
And she was not a very compassionate person. She was very straightforward, and this is what we're doing, this is what's going on. Sometimes you want that, but other times it takes a bit more of a delicate touch.
Yep.
And that, yeah.
That was one of them.
Yeah. Especially with something you already didn't want to do, and she kept pushing it. And, for those not in the know, Dad can be a bit stubborn. Especially with something he doesn't want to do. So, if someone is pushing him to do something, especially something he doesn't want to do, he's going to push back even harder and be like, no, I'm putting my foot down, I'm not going to do it.
Yep, I will die on this hill.
Yep.
Yep.
This has turned into a thing. But as, you know, like you said, as soon as the other doctor explained it, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's fine, we can do that. But, again, he was able to sell it better.
Yeah.
Oh, I got experience for crafting by repairing. I didn't know that was a thing you could do. Or at least I didn't know that repairing counts towards experience. I need more needles. I've only got 66. Okay, how do I make those again? I think it's just... yeah, needles and feathers. Can't do. Instead of needles and coins to say, it's needles and feathers to say. Right?
Yep.
Ugh. My eyes are dry.
Same.
All of me is dry, actually. It's just been dry lately. It wasn't so bad in the hospital. I would say that, like, the humidity was kind of taken care of. Like, it wasn't... It's definitely drier here, I would say.
Yep. Yeah, there's more stuff in the air here.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because my sinuses feel it. My eyes feel it. Yep.
I can agree with that. I've got a headache that I've been fighting for a good part of the day. But I think a chunk of that is well, because it's dry, you know, some of the dehydration. So I've been kind of... I've been trying to... What I've been trying to do is, typically when I have a headache, I'll, pop 2 ibuprofen and just be like, yeah, and then I'll drink, I'll drink more water or something like that. But I've been trying to not do that so much and save it for when it's like a really bad headache. Because, I don't want to become too reliant on it as like a crutch. Just like, I have a headache, oh, just pop some ibuprofen and you'll be fine. Because the problem is it also masks the issue. So if I don't try to mask it as much, then when I'm doing things to try to, try to treat the headache, I'll know if it's actually working or not. Rather than, well, I'm trying to take care of it, but I also took some ibuprofen, and I know the headache is going away, but who knows which of it, which it was. If it was the ibuprofen or what I was doing was actually working. So I want to get a better gauge, I guess, of what works and what doesn't, then I can't do that if I'm constantly masking it. Right?
Yep.
There we go. We have a whole box of needles. There we go. That'll do, donkey. Put this back over here. Jump. There we go. Now we're back in it. Oh wait, I was gonna grab that too. I wanted to grab my little wispy guy. Right? I don't have him right now. No, I don't. I put him back. I can easily fix that. There you go. Hello. Release the bound wisp. It's good that we're going to be doing a little dungeon diving, because I'm definitely running low on certs.
Cool.
It's one thing I need to be doing more of. We're always cycling through different tasks. It's like, I need to do more farming. Okay, the farming's taken care of. Now I need to go do more this. Now I need to go do more this. Hello! Any friends around? Any bony boys? Any, humorous fellas? Hello? Got any bones to pick with me? Ha ha ha. Skeleton. Alright, I'll check this room real quick. There we go. Aha! I remembered the correct button. Hey, check it out! It's the Elder again. I still haven't gone to that Elder. Suppose I got to at some point, but obviously it's not a very high priority of mine. But we've already gotten, what is that? 3 Certling cores. Good progress. Okay, so that's done. So am I just done then with this side? It appears so. Alright, next one. Yeah, going back, to one of the other topics. I definitely missed playing Valheim. I missed being at my computer doing things. 'Cause, obviously you can't just take your computer with you. Alright. I heard somebody. It wasn't this side, though. Now, if this was a laptop, it'd be different, but, hi! This would be a little harder to set up, I think. I'd be afraid of it getting taken or lost, right? Any component of it. Oh yay! Another Certling core. What? Can I hit that? No. Okay. Part of the wall. Gotcha. Huh. Okay. Looks like that side's done. Did I already go down this one?
Yep.
I did. So that's... we're done then.
Yep.
Well, alright then. Nyom. It's getting dark. My nails are a decent length right now. Actually, one of the nurses said that my nails were pretty. I thought that was very, very nice, because I don't really do anything with my nails. I've kind of been letting them grow out lately, though. As far as they can go, because with the, again, with the dryness of the air, they end up chipping. Chipping and cracking and splitting and all that fun whatnot, right? So they've been growing pretty well lately, but some of them have already split and had to be cut short. But that is inevitable. Okay, so now we've got regular arrows. I have some wood. Okay, the rest of this goes outside. I won't lie, I've been kind of thinking about what it would be like if I... Oh. Bug? Bug here somewhere. Bug down there. Bug here!
2 bugs.
forgot how creepy they sound. Jeez Louise. I was like, what was that? I was like, oh, wait. What else but the bugs sound like nightmare fuel? Anyway. Eepy time. It's kind of cold. Do I have a... I don't have a blanket down here.
Okay, got my coat?
No, I'm good.
There's a little black one right there.
Oh, yeah. I suppose I will. Thank you.
Yeah, it's the just enough coat. You know what I mean?
Just enough coat.
Yep.
Ugh. 1,284. That's a lot of days. Busy days, toiling away. I'm glad Valheim doesn't give you a time limit. I feel like it wouldn't be as enjoyable.
Well, if it was a countdown instead of a counting up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed. So, okay, are you
Am I?
done planting your trees?
Yeah. Oh, I've been done.
Well, I didn't know if you were going to go back and try to harvest and replant, or...
I guess I could. I mean, I just finished the dungeon. That'd be kind of a good transition point. I'll futz with this first, though. Get them going. Oh, you're right. This is good. Just enough coat. It was primarily my arms that were getting cold. But with the arms, the body will follow, being connected and all. Alright. Now let's see if those trees have grown. I'm willing to bet that they have. Maybe not all of them, but a good bit of them. Yes. I would say yes, they have. There's still some tinies in there. There's an open sky. Yeah, okay, we can fix that. Hello. I saw him walking down the trail, and I'm like, is he gonna come over here? And maybe. I need to get more of these guys. Just don't fall on the sapling that I'm trying to build up. Is this not enough open sky for you? Still not enough open sky. How about now? Room to grow. There we go. Lit right back up. How about you? More room to grow. There you go. And you? Open sky. More room to grow. Okay, so let's get rid of this tree then. This is making me wonder how many of the... No! You just rolled over a bunch of them. Jeez. Makes me wonder how many of the trees I plant actually grow, because it's seeming like they will grow to a certain point, and then when a bunch of them start getting big, it's like they're too close together. Interesting. I've been wasting tree seeds is what I'm seeing here. It's unfortunate. Does it actually damage them? Do the logs damage the saplings? Maybe they don't. Hi. Okay. Yes, like I said, I think I'm planting these too close to each other.
I would agree with you.
Ow. Hi. Bye. Open sky. We can do that for you, little guy. Because I'm impatient, I'll just... Hey, one just grew! So we would be doing the trees a favor by culling them early, so the rest of them can grow. It's too bad the little ones don't stick around, because after a little time they'll disappear. Normally I'd be picking everything up, but we're on an emergency effort to save the saplings. So, flagrant disregard for for my own character's life at the moment. And the tree just grew up behind me. Jeez. The way some of these just fall can be a little scary sometimes. Alright. See that some of these trees are already kind of growing up behind me. See, these were fine. I'll accept that guy. Hold on, I got you. No! I accidentally chopped it!
Dude.
Oh. How silly of me. Uh-oh, my phone's at 3%. I'm glad I looked down and saw that. It seems that... oh, 2%, sorry. I like that this has gone from, yeah, check the trees, see how they're doing, to, we must chop the trees. Chop them all. There we go. No, you're still, need more room to grow. We can fix that. So the falling logs can't hurt the saplings, but my axe definitely still can. Ow. What? Okay, I didn't chop that one. Maybe I just didn't get to it in time. These, yeah, with the direction of the sun too, they end up needing the open sky. I wonder how far apart I need to plant them for them to be okay. I mean, quite a few of them do okay. Just some of the ones on the inside, not so much. So what would how would I fix that? I think just in general, planting them a little farther apart might help. What do you think?
I think your spacing is a little too tight.
Yeah, I'm thinking that too.
In your garden with carrots and stuff like that, it's fine, but with the trees, you can't be quite so tight.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. There we go. They're coming back, they're coming back. Whoops. Those were fine, and then the log fell. So now it's okay. Okay, so I'll have to wait a little longer in between plants to make sure that they got space, so that something like this doesn't happen again. How are we doing over here? It looks like everything on the outside has grown. You haven't, though. Boy. Hello. How are you doing? Ah! No, it just disappeared! Here I was trying to save it. Okay. Well, it looks like the rest of them are fine. We've, yeah. Looks like we've handled it for the most part. So if that's the case, I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm gonna... Jeez, look how far they went. They came quite a long way. This is the farthest the chopped trees have come in a while. Anyway. Time for the cart. Have you ever chopped down more than one tree at a time? Or has it always been just like...
In real life?
Yeah.
Typically no. The times in real life that I've been dealing with multiple trees down tends to be storm damage.
Yeah, fair enough. I was just thinking about all the times that I've like either watched you or helped you with tree chopping and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Just grabbing all the fun little things. What was the biggest tree you've ever chopped?
That was the oak tree on top of the hill.
Oak tree on top of... I think I know the one
Do you remember when we were caretakers of that one church property?
Oh, yes, yes. I was wondering if it was that one.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good, maybe 3-foot diameter, 4-foot diameter.
Dang.
But the tree had been damaged from several storms. And then the carpenter ants got into it and kind of mostly hollowed out the inside. So there was essentially a shell that was about 3/4 of the full tree was still intact, but it was only like 3 to 4 inches thick. The whole inside had essentially been chewed into that soft, pulpy stuff, right? It wasn't hard wood anymore. Because we had the year that we were at that particular property, we're having a lot of storms and a lot of trees getting blown down, a lot of limbs getting blown down, and it was close enough that it would actually hit my bedroom if it would have fallen. So, so that tree had to go.
Yeah.
And, so I went and I worked on it with my hatchet, actually.
Not even a chainsaw.
Nope, well, I didn't own a chainsaw at the time. That came later. So I started off with a hatchet, and then I worked up to an axe, and then I worked up to a chainsaw.
So how long did it take you then to chop the tree down?
Well, I did it in one afternoon.
Jeez.
It wasn't fully cut up, but it was cut down.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, but dang. That's still a big tree you're talking about.
Yeah, but like I said, it was a shell. It wasn't wasn't a solid tree.
Yeah, and I'm sure that made that easier.
It makes a big difference.
Still, dang. Color me impressed. There's still one more little fella over here.
Yep, and then that stump became our fire pit.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is before I remember, because
Yeah.
I remember the fire pit. I don't remember the tree.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, cool. That was a nice fire pit.
Yep, that it was.
So does that mean you fully took out the roots as well?
Yes. Through several years of burning, repeatedly burning and burning and burning and burning and burning and burning and burning, because that entire tree plus about 30 more trees ended up going through that fire pit, and so all the root systems they would get turned into ember and would slowly burn away, and then it would collapse in, and I just kept throwing more wood in there.
Cool. Oh. Yeah, because I remember I've seen pictures of that fire pit too. I had wondered why you dug it so big. But now knowing that used to be an oak tree, no wonder it was that big.
Yeah.
Because the oak trees get big. They love to do that.
They do.
Kind of their favorite hobby. I need to get the other cart over here. So I'll just run this back. run this back and then probably sleep because it's getting late, and then, you know, grab the other cart in the morning. I've got my work cut out for me with these trees again. It's nice to have something to do, but they're typically a little more consolidated than this. So there's a bit of a feeling of, oh man, I got a mess to clean, but I also made this mess. In a desperate bid to save the little trees. Definitely cold. Eesh. Suppose I should put that away. You know what would be nice if we got like an upgraded cart? I mean, this already has a lot of slots, but there's like a whole ring that it could have too. Well, maybe not. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is 8 by 4. So that's 32. This is 6 by 3, so that's 18. Oh yeah, I could have plenty more space. I would love to have a cart that was as big as my regular inventory. Come on now. There we go. Yeah, while I'm here... That needed a little TLC. Alright, what's in here that I can grab? Goes in there. Oh, well, I have resin and I have feathers I can bring in here. Whoops. The resin. Nope. Feathers. Yeah. Okay. Now I need to hurry up and put that, Nope, that's not the button that I was looking for. That's the button I was looking for. I have some black metal that needs to be put away. Not there. It was over here. That's right. Go ahead and hit that. Did I close that door behind me? Yes, I did. Okay. So I will bring this here. Take care of the rest of that in the morning. We can stay up late, and in the morning, I'm making waffles. Did you know Shrek is getting a sequel? Yet another sequel. I think this is number 5 now.
Well,
People are not happy. They've shifted the art style a little bit. So, there was a little disappointment that they didn't keep with the original. And it looks like they may not have been paying attention to certain details of the last movie. But we don't know because the movie isn't out yet. So it could just be that the trailers that they've been releasing are, you know, they don't have all of the information. Because trailers tend not to do that. They like to leave a little to the imagination. I'm going to close those doors while we're walking the outside. But yeah, number 5. Jeez. Just gotta wiggle this in here. Did the rest of the trees grow? Was that really all it took? They might all be done. Nice. Certainly looks like it. Not seeing any sprigs. Cool. I know what I should have done though. I've got to repair my axe.
Yeah, you do.
It's taken some damage.
Just a little bit. 80%?
I'd say that's safe, yeah. So, I don't know, have you ever broken an axe before? I've heard of people having to replace the handle.
I have broken, it wasn't an axe, it was a grub hoe, otherwise known as a mattock. I broke an oak handle on one of those.
Jeez.
And I broke the axe head on a head of a previously repaired axe.
Sounds like the repair job wasn't so great.
And that was kind of my opinion as well. But it was what we had available, and so I used it, and it didn't last for long.
So, I suppose you're just kind of SOL when the head breaks.
Yep.
Unless you just, like, melt it down and make a brand new one.
I mean, you can repair them. You can do welding and stuff like that with it, but to make it fully strong, you just remake it.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. What did it... did you feel kind of strong for breaking the axe head? Like, whoa, my immense strength.
No, not really.
Oh.
Because we picked it up and it's like, you want me to use this? It's pretty sketchy looking.
Oh, you already knew it was
Are you sure? Oh, yeah, it's fine. Ping! Okay,
So about that axe you lent me?
Yeah.
The one that I was kind of questionable about?
Yep. Yeah, it split right along that weld line that I was saying looked questionable.
So is this someone I know as well?
No, this was from my youth.
I was thinking about the church days.
No, this was at one of my friend's house. His dad had these are my tools, and then these are the tools that you boys can play with, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was in the what you boys can play with pile. So it was already known not to be the greatest. But yeah.
Fair enough.
Yep. But then that's also when I started figuring out the differences between wood handles and fiberglass handles, and which ones transfer more energy through the handle and hurt the crap out of your hands, and which ones don't, and stuff like that.
Didn't you say the fiberglass ones are worse?
The fiberglass ones transfer all of that energy.
Ouch. Well, I suppose glass does that, right? It's one of its features.
Fiberglass does that, yes.
One of its features.
Yep.
Not a bug, a feature. Not a good feature.
It depends on what you're using it for. So.
I would think that it would be bad all the time.
No.
What's a good situation where... Yeah, what's a good situation?
For fiberglass? They use fiberglass in a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, no, I'm talking specifically the transference of that
of strong
energy
vibration.
in an axe.
I can't tell you that. You're asking me a really weird question, a really weirdly phrased question.
Yeah, it's not an important one anyway. I know fiberglass is a fiberglass can be a good material depending on where it is. It just doesn't sound like it's good for axe handles.
I would agree with that statement, but there are a lot of places that use the fiberglass because it's lightweight. Its strength to weight ratio is good in their point of view, and it's like, well, that's great, but you're not one that's out there using it all the time.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like it's good for numbers, but not good in practice.
Yes, it's good for the financial accounting books is what it's good for.
Yeah, which are always, or at least most of the time, made by people who are not involved in the actual work.
Yeah.
There we go. We got a good domino going. Wow. Okay. Just flew right over me. No, come back. Come back. No, I still want to chop you. Come back. There we go. I was fully expecting that to hit me, and I kind of already accepted that it was going to. So imagine my surprise when it goes sailing over my head. Kind of like the bike that one time.
Yeah.
I've told that story before, though.
Yeah.
That bike is too small for me now. I didn't think I would ever outgrow it, to be honest. But, it is indeed the truth. That bike is too small now. I did a lot on that bike.
Yep.
I didn't wreck very often, though. I mean, obviously that's a good thing, but it doesn't always make for an interesting story. I would say I was a decent rider. I didn't get into a lot of situations where wrecking my bike was common. I'm pretty happy about that. Nope, that's not it. There we go. Though, when I hear stories about you riding your bike everywhere, I wish we could have done that too. Because it kind of sounds like you had a freedom that we didn't.
And that would be correct. But I also had different sets of responsibilities that you didn't.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of the place where you grew up. It was safer to ride a bike.
Yeah, so the place where I grew up, they actually had bike paths everywhere. It was part of the city planning. So if they didn't have, there were sidewalks through the residential neighborhoods, stuff like that, where we were living, did not have sidewalks at all.
No,
Right.
no, very much middle of nowhere situation.
Yeah, so
And even, it's like even the cities nearby didn't really have sidewalks.
right, because it was never a popular pastime.
Yeah.
And so when I would talk to people about growing up and what I used to do for fun and stuff like that, they were like, "You're weird," right?
What do you mean you ride your bike for
Right.
fun and
Yep.
not just to get from one place to another?
Right. It's like, what do you mean you didn't get a car until you were out of high school? I didn't get a car until I was out of high school.
Kind of exactly what it says on the tin.
Yeah, it's like, I had the option to purchase a car when I had the money to do it. And when I had the money to do it, I bought a car. But I had to save up the money.
And that takes a lot of doing.
It's hard to do at minimum wage.
Yeah. I've been thinking about that lately too, about how long it would take me to save up to get a car. That would take a long time, to be honest.
To pay for it outright, yeah. Well, and it depends on the type of car.
Yeah, well, obviously I'm not thinking luxury brand.
Right,
That would
but you
be-
understand what I'm saying.
Right.
Is there's all sorts of different makes and models, and depending on what you go for, you're going to pay a price for it.
Yep.
And if you buy it new, or you buy it used, or you know,
Nude. Buying a nude vehicle.
well, used is what I was saying.
I'm just thinking of a nude vehicle now. Like no paint on it whatsoever. It's just the metal underneath. A nude vehicle.
That's how the original DeLorean was. They just had a wax coating over the stainless steel.
Is that really?
Yeah,
Huh.
that's why it was just silver.
Huh, I thought it was just paint. Is that kind of why they started doing the silver paint? Because people liked it,
No.
but it was... okay.
No.
Just a feature of that particular vehicle, huh?
It was a, we don't want to pay for painting.
Oh.
And, oh look, it's a feature.
Look at how cool this is. We're so proud of our steel that,
Right.
that you know,
Yeah.
we want you to be able to see
They're
it.
catching on.
Gotcha.
They started marketing it as a feature, so.
I'm sure people bought into it. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. DeLorean is the...
Back to the Future car.
No, yes, I know. But the model, it's not the brand.
It's an AMC.
It's an AMC DeLorean.
AMC DeLorean.
Gotcha. I wonder if AMC still makes vehicles.
They do.
You already know that.
Yeah, they're still around.
Huh.
They're part of a conglomerate by now, but I mean, it used to be a standalone company.
Makes sense. I'm messing up my buttons. There we go. Yeah, fair enough. It looks cool, but I think I only think that because it's the Back to the Future vehicle.
Well, and it was one of the few vehicles with the gull wing doors.
Yeah, the ones that open up like that.
Yep. And people are like, oh yeah, gull wing doors. Oh, the doors of the future. Oh wait, these like are actually kind of dangerous.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. Well, if you get into a car accident and the car rolls over, you can't open the doors anymore. You tend to get trapped inside easier. That was one thing that they found out. Plus the extra mechanisms involved, you know, the air pistons and all the other kind of stuff. And how they would break down, you know, if it ran out of steam and you were inside and you didn't have the strength, you know, to get out, you're right, break the glass. Yay.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Fair enough.
So yeah, so I mean, it had its pluses and minuses. Plus, it took a lot more room to open. You couldn't park two of them side by side.
I was thinking that too.
That was one of the videos I watched, by the way.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Is that why you had the information readily there?
Yep.
I was wondering. I was like, wow, he's kind of got this off the top of his head here. He must have been real into it.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, that was fun. I mentioned this last stream, but I get a little confused with my car brands, especially like they all have their own symbols and some of them are written out. So if you're you know paying attention, you can tell you know what brand a car is. But I've never been too hot on that kind of thing. So it's like, is that both of these have an A? Both of these are in A, but which is which? So my aunt was kind of quizzing me on it, and today we got to go out with her again, but unfortunately I forgot to bring my glasses, so I couldn't play the brand game again. I'm sure you didn't miss that though.
No, that was okay for me.
Yeah, I had fun though. Yep, I was happy that I knew more of them than I thought. Alright, there we go. So this will be the last trip, and then this stuff all goes in the house. Okay, cool. Now I know a lot of the luxury brands I'm not gonna get. One of the ones that is burned into my retinas is Tesla's, because I don't like Tesla. So every time I see that little symbol, it's like, ugh, with this again. But that's yet another story that I have told on stream. My intense dislike. don't know. Is there like a brand that you really don't like?
Um, Not really. Um, I was raised with my dad had a rule that if we ever purchased a Ford, he would not help us work on it. And he got that because um, of his own history with motor vehicles, as well as his dad's. Now, his dad was a mechanic part time, um, so they owned a farm, and then during the winter season, he did car mechanic stuff. So during the winter, my grandpa, my dad's dad, um, spent almost all of his time fixing Fords, right? And so he developed a distaste for that brand because he was constantly fixing Fords, right? So it was, don't ever bring a Ford near me, right? Kind of a deal, just, yeah. Um, and so he passed that down to my dad, and so then my dad, of course, tried to pass that on to us kids. Um, for the most part, it was like, well, Dad, you're the only one that's teaching us how to do this stuff, so, I guess I'm going to get a Chevy. Well, I guess I'm going to get an Oldsmobile, whatever. It's just whatever we can afford, but try not to get a Ford, because then you wouldn't get help with changing the brakes out or changing the oil and oh my goodness, your alternator's gone out, or something like that kind of work. He wouldn't help with it if you had a Ford. That's really the only thing as far as car brands now. They copy each other so much. It's like they're almost carbon copies of each other, and it's depressingly bland out there.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. Of unless you've got a sports car, most modern vehicles. I'm talking like
Unless you go exotic, everything is copy paste.
Everything looks the same.
Yep.
Except, everything nowadays looks the same. So it's kind of fun to see the older vehicles. Like, today when we were driving around, I got to see what appeared to be a 2000 Honda Accord.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely recognize that vehicle.
Yep.
Because it's a very distinct look, and mostly like from the back is to me a distinct look.
Yep.
Now, if we're talking from the front,
and there are several iterations, so it's around a 2000. It could have been a 97 up to like a 2005 or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Within that decade. But yeah, that's kind of a nostalgic vehicle. I don't remember the year, but Mustang GTs, those as well, have a very distinct look. We used to see around quite a bit. All of the Ford trucks, especially these days, look the same. They got like just really busy headlights. Like, I don't know why the headlights look the way they do. Maybe people think they look cool. I personally don't think they look cool. We saw this electric vehicle the other day. It's like Rivian, I think it was called.
I think you're right.
It was like really weird headlights.
Yep.
It's a completely electric vehicle. It's like, oh my gosh, I have never heard of that brand before. So of course I look it up, and it's like, oh yeah, they didn't start releasing, this particular vehicle until 2023. So that is pretty dang new. No wonder I haven't seen them around, right?
Yep.
So that one was pretty distinct. But a lot of the SUVs and the trucks and some of the sedans, they all kind of look similar.
Yep.
It's disappointing. But as far as brand reliability, from what I've heard, Toyota is a pretty good brand.
It depends on a lot of different things.
Elaborate?
It depends on a lot of different things. Sometimes it's the size of engine matched up to the right size of vehicle.
That is important.
Because like the minivan that we drove for a while. Traditionally, minivans have a 6-cylinder engine in it, and this particular Toyota, they put a 4-cylinder in, and they tried to market it as, it's more fuel efficient because it's a 4-cylinder engine, right? However, because of the weight of the vehicle, the 4-cylinder engine had to work harder to propel the vehicle, right? So it became underpowered because of its engine size compared to the vehicle size. So it wasn't as good of a vehicle as a 4-cylinder as it was with the 6-cylinder option.
That
right?
makes sense.
So that's why I'm saying there's a lot of variables there that make a difference. So we saw a car on the way home. I didn't point it out today. That was like a 1986, like Chevy, right?
Oh, you should have pointed that out.
And it is, so like it was a boat. It was a big metal boat. And I know people that would have just been screaming, going, get that gas hog off the road, thinking, oh my goodness, this thing is probably getting, 3 miles a gallon. When in actuality, they had a V8 engine in it. And so the full-size chassis with a V8 engine was like the perfect combination for cruisers. And that's why police cars for the longest time were all V8 engine full-size sedans. Because it had plenty of power for the weight of the vehicle and the size of the vehicle, that it was responsive and lasted a long time because of it. It was properly balanced, I guess you would say. And so with that in mind, it also meant that the fuel economy was pretty good. So when everybody else was driving around getting 10, 15 miles a gallon, they were getting 25s and 30s back in the 80s.
Dang.
So, I hear the arguments all the time of, the older vehicles and blah, 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 blah. And it's like compared to the newer vehicles, again, there's a lot of things you got to look at. It's not a simple black and white thing. But when you look at the two different vehicles I just mentioned, the minivan versus this full-size sedan, that 80s full-size sedan was a more economic vehicle to drive. It was easier to work on. And just fuel efficiency was better. It was just all around a better mix than that minivan ever could be.
Fair
Right?
enough. So you're saying the bigger the vehicle, the more the cylinders?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
No?
No, I'm saying you have to look at the balance.
Well, weren't you saying that?
Because you can put a V16 into a, like from a Lamborghini or a Ferrari or something, an exotic sports car. You can grab one of those engines and put it into, a Yugo from the 1980s, and that vehicle's not going to be able to move without ripping itself apart. Right. So
that's the balance.
So you're oversimplifying things by saying what you said.
Gotcha. I see now. Okay. But I guess so. With the more cylinders there is, the more power that the engine has.
In theory.
In theory.
Yep.
Okay. So when you've got a bigger vehicle, it would probably be a good idea to have an engine that has
a higher horsepower to handle its weight. Yes.
Gotcha. Okay. But not so far that it's gonna damage the vehicle.
Correct. Because you can have so big of a torque load on the engine that it'll warp the frame if you put your foot in the gas, right? You can do stuff like that. Just have way too much engine for the car.
Is that when pistons start flying out of the engine?
No,
What is that then?
it's a piston failure.
Oh, okay. So nothing to do then with the whole. Okay. This is making me think of Forza now, with all the different upgrades that you can give your vehicle. From your car knowledge, would you say that it's the upgrades versus how it affects the car are accurate, or is there definitely some exaggeration?
There's some definite video game going on there. There is. And you've got to look at it too, going, who's honestly going to put, $500,000 worth of upgrades into a $30,000 car. You can do it, but is it worth it?
Realistically, would probably be a bit of a waste.
Yeah, well, and again, it depends on what you're doing, right? Race car versus on-the-road car, or, whatever.
Right. Yeah, that's fair. I'm just, it made me think about, what car were you saying was, like in real life, was really, it's a Mitsubishi.
You talking the Yugo?
Is a Yugo a Mitsubishi?
No.
Right.
Yugo is a car brand. Mitsubishi is a car brand.
Gotcha. No, I'm talking about, the really modifiable, vehicles that, you'll see a lot of street racers have them because they're so easily.
Yeah, I mean, you get into the Mitsubishis, the Nissans, the Hondas. Is primarily the Asian market cars are highly customizable. Because you can get the car frame itself fairly cheap, and because the cars were so similar, a lot of the parts were interchangeable, so even across brands, they use some of the same components. Especially with the aftermarket stuff. So it's like the motor mounts are the same size, and the mounting hole pattern for your alternator versus your water pump versus whatever all matched, and all that other kind of stuff, which meant that you could swap those parts out and use them for multiple brands and multiple models within that brand, which of course means you only have to make one or two different styles and you cover, the bulk of what people are looking for. Whereas if everything is custom made, then everything is custom made and its price tag that comes with it.
Makes me think of the different kinds of phone chargers. How each phone used to each brand used to have its own kind of phone charger, and so you needed the specific phone charger.
Yep.
And now everything is kind of headed more towards
They're trying to force it to be standardized. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it, the USB-C?
Yep.
Is that what everything's going for?
Yep.
And that I'm okay with them going with, the more standardized cables, just because you can interchange them. My Switch charger is a USB-C, and I can plug it into my phone and be able to charge my phone.
Yep.
I really like that I can do that. I know it's kind of a weird example, but I like that I can do that. So you're saying that with a lot of these Asian brands, or at least with the older cars, don't know if you can do it with the newer ones.
The aftermarket components.
They can be you can use them for several different vehicles.
Correct.
It's kind of standardized in that way.
Correct. Well, it's kind of like light bulbs for a vehicle. You go, when you're in there looking for a light bulb, You know, you've got this big catalog, and you go through the catalog, whether paper or electronic, doesn't matter. And it's like, okay, it's going to be this style. It's like, well, how many other vehicles use this style? A bunch, right? Like, okay, but that's why you've got to look it up.
Yep. Well, it's like what I was doing too with my my controller cable. It's a micro USB, and so it's like, okay, I need to find a specific cord. Which there was like a phone charger version, and then there was a version specifically for controllers. It's like different voltages. And so I made sure to find one that said it was for a controller, because I didn't want it to be like weaker. And I'm not sure how much different controllers are from phones, but I just wanted to make sure I got the right one, you know, and it didn't short myself or potentially damage the controller with having too much power going through it, that kind of thing. I was trying to be careful.
Yep.
Alright, where am I going with this? Oh yes, I have seeds. That will go in here for now. Ow. Maybe don't run into the pillars. Imagine if a game was so realistic, if you bump into pillars too fast, you'll hurt yourself. I mean, we already have fall damage. You could just do like really minor like impact damage, like you're sprinting and you run into a wall and, you know, hurt yourself. A game so realistic you could stub your toe in game and lose like 5 hit points.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah, that would I think that would be funny for like a life simulator, not for something like Valheim. Okay. Oh, thanks. That one log just broke up there, didn't even fall down. Whoa! Well, that ended up being more than I expected it to be. There we go. There was a whole chunk of trees that just fell right there. I think I started saying earlier how, or maybe I just thought this, but I've been wondering what it would be like if I made like a giant like stone wall around the base. Not like tight around the base, like a giant perimeter around the base. So kind of like, hello dear, I'm about to scare you. So like kind of like out here, starting out here, and then just a giant, you know, going around this whole area.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like, well, maybe that's too far, but you know what I'm talking about. So, you know, still enough space for like deer to spawn and things like that, but oh, he's running into the, you gonna get confused on your pathing? Nah, he won't. Damn. That's okay. I didn't have plans to kill him anyway. Anyway, I've thought about that just to see, and like put like, you know, the quote unquote like base materials around. So like a workbench will prevent monsters from spawning there in like a radius. So I guess making a giant, kind of like what I've done here, but larger. And then putting workbenches around or something like that to prevent monsters from spawning. To just have a whole area of no monsters. Personally, I don't mind the monsters, so there'd really be, I guess, really no point. Unless I wanted to play on this world with somebody who was not as you know, as kitted out. Like someone starting out, then I would want to have some more protection in place. But that would really be more for, like, nighttime, you know, when the bugs come out. And you know, it's a specific situation, and I was kind of, I wasn't seriously considering it. It was just kind of a thought. But I was curious to know if you had an opinion on it.
And the purpose would just be to have a sanctuary, essentially?
Kind of, yeah.
I think you're far enough in the game now that it would be pointless.
Yeah, it'd be moot. Because the most dangerous fellas they can throw at me at the house right now, I can take them on pretty okay. It'd be a lot different if I was in the position where I just finished the Mistlands and I was getting Ashland raids before I'd even made it to the Ashlands.
Yep.
And like they were kicking my butt, then, you know, there'd be more of a call for that. But yeah. I wish we could repair the rocks. Now that I'm thinking about, like structures. Wish we could repair rocks. Or at least, like... I know there's no... I wish you could place rocks. Not really repair them per se, but place rocks. Just for decoration. You can place, like, stacks of stone. You can't, like, turn them into one big stone. Which, you know, fair. I kind of wish you could. Like... Kind of like how Minecraft's creative mode, you can build with materials that realistic, you know, like, according to, like, the gameplay, you know, of regular Minecraft, you technically couldn't build with. I kind of wish creative mode Valheim would let you do that. Well, it's technically called hammer mode, but you know what I'm talking about. But with the way they have it set up where, you can only build with things that you found. Like, with recipes that you've unlocked. So you can't just build with everything, you know, like it's not all unlocked for you. Then that would kinda, it's not possible to do. I guess unless you've got the developer set, the developer kit. I just get a little, like minorly bummed. Not like, this has ruined my whole day. But, just like, oh man. When I see that rock sometimes, and it's like, man, it's damaged. And I can't fix it. But it's a rock. Probably sees me too. Walking on over here. Ah! Oh! He was watching. No. He stopped before the log could run into him. He's like, well, I'm gonna change course. I see that log. Would have been funny if it hit him. Just swept his legs. getting dark, though. I should probably wrap this up for the day.
Agreed.
Cold. Did you know that it's cold?
I guess that way.
Fun fact, did you know?
You want my hat?
No, I'm good.
No, the bunny hat. It's right there.
Oh, I know. No, I'm actually what I would like to
Your
get.
mermaid thing is right over there.
Yeah. I'm gonna set you down very gingerly and see if I have the cord length to grab that. Probably don't.
Nope. You're done. You're done right there. Okay,
Wait, what? Hold that.
that works.
Aha! The joys of
You grab me the sangria as well.
yeah. Just one?
This one, unless you want one.
I would like one actually, but I might. I have one. I'll grab one from there. There you go. You get that one. I'll grab this one. Haha.
So put your merms on.
My merms. Ah, I was stepping on that. Sorry. If I just roll away like that, there we go. Giving myself space means I can move around a little more. Shocking. Alright, there we go. Got my merms on. Get my headphone cord re-plugged in. Grab the controller. That's not a twist.
No.
Do you have a means of opening it? You do. I forgot about the scissors. I'll warm my feet up. That's one thing that they're not too keen on you bringing into a hospital is scissors, especially big scissors.
Anything with a blade. They're like, oh my goodness, it's a nail file. Call the police.
It's like I'm messing with. I'm using it for its intended purpose.
It's like I'm trying to trim my nails here.
Want me to see what I can do with it? You got that one?
No, I need it finished off.
There we go. Just needed one more good tug.
I know.
You do you save the cap?
No.
All right. And then now I do this. Oh yes. Okay. Aha. There you go. Thank you.
So, cheers.
Cheers. Yep. That's a good one right there.
Some non-alcoholic sangria.
Yeah. Well, sangria isn't carbonated either, is it?
It tends to be a sparkling wine punch.
I didn't know it was sparkling.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there you go. Yes, non-alcoholic sangria.
Yeah, it's a red wine with a lot of fruit slices mixed in, and then like 7-Up,
Really?
Sprite, whatever. Yeah.
Fair enough. Adds to more of that fruity flavor.
At least that's the simplified recipes that I've seen.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a little
quite a
more.
few.
Yeah. There we go.
And they tend to not be, the $500 bottle of wine either. It's the
Something you get for a party.
yeah.
It's not like ooh, a 1938 sangria. Good vintage. No, they don't do that. At least as far as I know, they don't do that. That'd be kind of interesting. I was talking to my cousin today about he's been doing a purge of the fridge because my aunt when it comes to buying certain foods. She knows what she likes, she just doesn't always get to it in time. Especially once it gets shoved to the back of the fridge, she gets a bit of out of sight, out of mind about it. So, my cousin has been doing a bit of a purging of the fridge so that we can have space again. And he was like, yeah, you know, and she's got like wine in the bottom here, and like I don't know how old it is. I was like, okay, listen to me. Wine is not like I don't know that alcohol does expire per se, but trust me when I say that wine is fine. We don't need to throw it away. In fact, I think she would be very upset if we threw away her wine.
Agreed.
I don't know, does alcohol expire? I don't...
Sort of.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't
Sort
really
of.
think it does in the typical sense.
So, wines can turn to vinegar on you once it's been opened and hasn't been properly resealed. It'll start turning into vinegar.
It'll kind of ferment to the point, right?
Yeah, well, it's not fermenting anymore. It's now starting to rot. It's being fully digested by the microbes at that point, you know. And lets them go active again, and so they just start digesting it, and that byproduct is vinegar.
Gotcha.
Right. So, you have to properly reseal wine. Now, when you get into some of your harder liquors, not so much, but it also depends on the quality you're starting with. Is it worth holding on to? Is it not worth holding on to? You know, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well,
But I'm going to say that you're always going to be on sketchy ground going through somebody else's food supply.
yes, that is fair.
And you and I also know that your cousin is an extremely picky person when it
Yes.
comes to food.
Yeah, and he can get a little toss happy when it comes to doing the purge, which is part of why I do it with him, so that I could be like, we were looking at cream cheese, and he's like, I don't know, the date on this is really old. It's like, okay, let me look this up before you go throwing this away, because it doesn't look bad. The date is questionable, but it doesn't look bad. And it's like, yeah, if it looks good, if it smells good, it's probably good. But if it's like cracking or like separating, then yeah, throw it away. It's like, yeah, a lot of this looks okay, so I think we can leave it. He's like, I don't know. It's like, trust me, man, just leave the cream cheese.
Right.
But obviously, there's very clear boundaries for like vegetables, where it's like, this vegetable, which does not typically have white spots,
Right.
has very giant white blotches on it.
And they're fuzzy.
And they're fuzzy.
Yeah.
Hey, did you know that root vegetables have hair? Not just the spindly root kind, but like, it's like a peach?
Yep.
It's like, yeah, no, that's garbage.
They can actually get that way. Yep. That's the kind that also makes you very sick and can kill you.
Yep.
Yep. So, yeah.
So yeah, we found one of those today. One of those lovely ones. It's like, I don't even remember when this was purchased. I just know that it's very dangerous now. That is not food. Not anymore. And it will be treated as not food. Yeah, and then sauces. You kind of have to go by smell.
Yeah.
If they smell okay, they're okay. If they
Well,
smell bad, they're not.
And some things will tell you too. They're like, this product is good, for the next 6 months. But once you open the container, finish the container off within 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, yeah, it's not like, hey, I'm going to open this carton of milk drink a glass, and then put it back in there for 2 weeks. No.
Yeah, no,
No.
that's kind of when you just have to work through for the week.
Yeah.
What is that saying that I like to say a lot? You know, once you put the coin in the jukebox, you gotta let the song play out. But once you open the carton, you have to finish it.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, and his hang up with the cream cheese was that it was dairy. I was like, I mean, fair enough, but...
I know, but he also doesn't like dairy. It's like, yeah, well, you also don't like this, and you don't like that, and you don't like this, and you don't like that, and you don't like this, and you don't like that, you know. If it's any kind of vegetable, keep it away from me, all that kind of stuff, it's like, come on.
Yeah, I left the doors open. I did not mean to do that. Not that I'm worried about bugs getting in. I mean, let's be real here. I'm not typically here when the bugs are here. I wonder how the bugs feel about all of these new little fellas that they run into when they pop up here at night. It's like, wow, these guys are these are minor leagues right here. What does that make us? We're the big dogs. And then it's, oh shit, the Viking!
Yeah, like our pantry, I'm pretty good about cycling our stuff, right?
Yeah. There's some old stuff, but it's like stuff that it's like canned goods, the powders, it's the stuff that's meant to last a while.
Right. So, dried pastas that, yeah.
Yes, those will survive the apocalypse.
But it's, everything in moderation, right? So, just because of some experiences that we've had with storms going through the area and being without power for weeks on end, I tended to not buy a lot of meat to freeze, right, or keep fresh, because when you and your sisters were young, where we were living at the time, we had a tornado come through and we were without power for a week and a half. And so we met up with the neighbor like on day 2 when we were all running out of ice, right? And everybody was without ice and no power. And we cooked up every bit of meat that we had on the grill and took out all the ice cream and stuff like that we had, and we just ate ourselves into the sweats. I mean, we made ourselves sick.
Just that giant party, because it was all going to go bad.
Yep, it was as much meat and ice cream as you wanted, right? And so everybody's like, yay! Right?
Yeah.
So you learn your lesson, where it's like, okay, I'm not going to have $2,000 worth of meat sitting in the freezer anymore. I'm not going to buy a half a cow and have it in the freezer because I have no way to...
If the power goes out.
Yeah, if I lose power for an extended period of time, all that meat just goes to waste.
Yeah.
And so, because of several experiences like that, while you girls were growing up, I didn't do a lot of stockpiling anymore. Right.
Not of that stuff, at least.
Correct. Of the fresh stuff, I didn't do a lot of stockpiling, which you don't anyway, just because it spoils so darn fast. But,
right.
But it's like you don't stock up on meat with the plan to freeze it, right? Like I'm going to go buy this 20-pack of hamburgers. Excuse me. And then knowing that it's just you and me at the house at the moment, so that's going to take us, 3 or 4 meals to get through it all. It's like, no, I'd rather buy a 10-pack. Right? That kind of stuff, where you buy appropriate size and so on and so forth, and whatever. So it was more of a just-in-time shopping, where, the situation here is a little bit different, where they haven't learned that lesson.
Well, and from what I've gathered is that their power doesn't go out very often.
Yeah, so it's much more reliable, just because the infrastructure is much more established here.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you can definitely be a little wasteful. Like we were we were looking around and, you know, like I said, looking at the sauces too. Because some of them, it's like, the date on this one is 2011?
Well, and in honesty, with sauces, it's a questionable anyway.
They last a while anyway.
But then you get into a situation where you're like, do I have this sauce? I know I need it for this recipe I'm making, but do I have it at home? I don't remember. And so you go, well, play it safe, you buy the bottle, right?
Right.
And then you get home and you can't find it. So you're like, oh, you know, good thing I opened, you know, bought this thing. You make the recipe that one time, and then you're putting your stuff away, and you're like, oh crap, here's the other bottle, right? And so you end up with a couple bottles that are open, and so you know that's kind of easy to do, where you can have, you know, one or two bottles of something, whereas we found 4 bottles of stuff here before. Like, hey, look, it's taco sauce. Oh, look, it's more taco sauce. Oh, look, it's more taco sauce.
And every single one is open.
And every single one is open and half gone and long expired.
Yes, yeah. I mean, we found 4 bottles of ketchup. All open. Bottles of ketchup.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here going, dude, how much ketchup do you need? But, you know, that's a good point where, do I have this? I don't know. I better just get it anyway.
Or you're on a camping trip and you're like, we forgot to grab it, and, you know, grab the open bottles. We'll just stop on the way in and we'll buy one.
Right, yeah. But yeah, we were both sitting here going, 4 bottles of ketchup. One of them was discolored and smelled weird. And it's like,
Yep.
oh, okay, yeah, this one's going. But these 3, we're going to actually consolidate them. So this is where she typically keeps the ketchup. We're going to put all 3 ketchups here. So that she knows that they're here and will hopefully not buy more. She likes mustard as well. I'm not just talking like yellow mustard.
I know,
she likes
all the different prepareds and the flavors and
She needs a what am I thinking of? She needs a door shelf that is dedicated to mustard. That's how much mustard she has. A lot of it's not open though. Because it's like
I'm gonna, at this point, I'm gonna say it's change topic.
Fair enough. Let's see, what else can we get into? Talked a lot about cars, about trees, condiments. Hi. I mentioned last stream that it's kind of funny when they fall like that, but when you're really, like, when you're up close to these logs and they just kind of spear the ground, it is a little scary. Even though I am at the point where it's really not going to hurt me. It's just the thought of, huh, that is a giant thing, and if this were real life, that would be a near-death experience. Is that? No, those are just little trees. I thought there was a deer over there. There we go.
Your axe is about broken again.
I've got 20% left. I think I can push it a little longer. Like, at least to the end of this day. I think it'll make it. But then, yeah, I'll have to repair it. Going back to the cars, kind of what adds to the monotony of the designs is they go with the same colors. Like lots of blacks, whites, grays, silvers, browns, that kind of thing. Lots of neutrals. And I kind of wish that they were a little more colorful. At this point, driving a different colored vehicle like that will probably get some not so nice eyes on you. Like that one statistic where red cars get pulled over more often because they stick out more. But it's like, we saw, crap. I don't know the exact model, but the make, it was a Chevy. And it was kind of this dark forest green Chevy. I like that color. That is a pretty
truck?
green. Yeah, the truck.
Yep.
That's a pretty green. I like it.
Yeah, it's kind of a forest green.
Yeah, when they go green, they tend to go forest green or like a really bright green. Not quite neon, but it's like kind of a bright green. And then with yellows, they don't do gold. They do yellow.
Well, you can get gold.
Yeah, I know, but like you don't see a lot of those.
No.
I don't see a lot of yellow either, though, to be fair. It's been a long... Recently I saw, there was this Porsche that was this bright yellow. I was like, talk about all eyes on you, dang. Which actually, it you know, it gave me some... It reminded me of some good memories, because there was this Switch game I used to play called Asphalt 9. And it was a car racing game, but it was actually like real cars. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this is the Turbo 3000 or anything like that. It actually used the brand names and whatnot. And so there was this one little Porsche. It was one of my favorites that I would drive. And I had upgraded it to the point that I could change the colors, you know, besides the default, like, you know, you could do yellow or blue or red or black or white. You know, I could do, like, you know, you've unlocked dual chrome paint. I was like, ooh, and here's a color wheel. Ooh! And so I did bright pink and a light blue. And so primarily I would see the blue, but on the edges of the car it looked, oh, yes.
Destroying your outbuildings.
Oh, they're really to protect these. They're meant to take the hit. But, I should have gone and repaired my axe sooner, like you said, because it broke. It did not last the rest of the day. How full is this? Okay, I'll just leave and come back. I've got a little more daylight left to burn. But yeah, so I painted it dual chrome light pink. Well, this wasn't hot pink. I think they were both light. I think it was light pink and light blue. Because I thought it looked nice. A lot of cars, what I did, I would do like primary white with the dual chrome red. So it almost looked like it was like glowing. Predictable, yes. But fun, also yes. But my favorite car was this car. By the way, we're still talking real vehicles here. It's called the DS E-Tense. This specific one, I don't remember the year that it was, because it didn't go into years. But the real vehicle was a specific year. And I think I just need to go to sleep anyway. But what I ended up doing with it, this car, for some reason in the game, was like a really, really good vehicle. Like, still 100% viable in higher levels than it should not have been in, right? So, what I ended up doing with this car, I actually dyed my hair these colors too, and I think it was when I was playing this game. So my hair ended up matching the car, but I did dual chrome pink and orange. Not pink, purple and orange. So mainly purple, and then shifted into orange. But that car was, I really liked that car. Like I said, viable even in the higher levels where it shouldn't have been in. But, I mean, you still saw it all the time. It's like, oh, yep, they're driving the E-Tense too. It's just a good car. It makes me wonder how good it is in real life. I mean, it's an electric vehicle. I think it's a completely electric vehicle. So I don't know how good it is IRL, but I do know that in the game it was a lot of fun. But it is a luxury vehicle from the UK, if I recall. So definitely has a price tag on it. But it's like pie in the sky if I ever got to, like, pick a vehicle. Like, maybe not even to have, just to test drive, to see what it was like. I'd like to try that vehicle, see if it's any good. I help you? Get out of here. Yep. I do wonder how much more colorful cars would be if people were allowed to just choose like that. Where instead of like, oh yeah, you know, the manufacturers, you know, have this color or this color or this color. It'd be kind of cool, you know, like I said, I wonder how much more colorful vehicles would be if it was, okay, you've picked your car. You now have a color wheel. Pick your color. Any color you want. It could be, hot pink or shit brown or whatever you want, but you get to pick. Just, you know, makes me wonder if people would stick with the same old drab colors or if they would, you know, get a little unique with it. Like, we saw a purple car today.
Yep.
Don't see those very often. It was pretty. Like a royal purple, I think. The colors deliberation would be frustrating to one person in particular, two people in particular that we know. What was it that you did? Where it's like, well, this is in this color folder and this is in this color.
So I was helping a friend of mine organize some paperwork, and so essentially what I had said was, knowing that he was colorblind,
Yeah.
I said, okay, you know, all of your accounts receivables are in cornflower blue. All of your accounts payables are in sky blue. All of your receipts are this kind of blue. All of you know, your inventory sheets are this kind of blue, and rattled off like 8 different shades of blue, knowing that he was colorblind. And now, of course, that's not what I actually did. That's just what I said I had done. Because it was, you know, the primary colors. These are blue, these are green, these are reds, you know, whatever. Which, when it was that extreme of a change, he could detect, right? It was just different shades within the same color band. So if they were all blues, no. If they were all greens, no. But yeah, a red from a green, definitely.
Hey, how you doing, Ron? Hi, you critter. Hi to both of you. Yeah, Dad is back. We've been babbling this whole time.
Yep.
Talking about whatever. I didn't want to do anything too wild and crazy just because, you know, we're still getting into the swing of things. We're getting back into it. I'm using a new controller because my Switch one is not doing so well. I'm hoping a new cord will fix its issues, but until then, I'm using an Xbox controller. It's a little weird. I'll go ahead and do the... I've already straightened my posture, but I can sip some of this soda. Yeah. Getting into the swing of axe at log. You know, I didn't think about that, but that is a little funny, isn't it? Yeah, we've been, actually, primarily we've been doing tree chopping again. Last stream was like this too, where I just sat here and chopped trees, but I realized that I've been planting them too close together. Not like, I don't notice it right away, because technically space-wise they're fine, but when the trees start maturing and, you know, becoming full-fledged trees, they end up leaving some of the saplings behind because they either don't have enough space once their neighbors are fully grown, or they don't have enough open sky because their canopies block the sun. So I've realized now that I've got to plant them a little farther apart than I have been, or at least check back more often to ensure that they can all grow. So like those times where I've been like, I planted over 300 trees, I have not been, that same number has not, you know, not been chopped down. Very unfortunate, but I'm glad I know now so that I'm not wasting seeds. Haven't had any raids so far. You know, the last one was at the end of last stream with Girhafa. But if he pops up now, then he better watch out, because I've got a better grip on these controls. Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, we got like 15 minutes. We, earlier in the stream, we took out, a fueling camp. I'd been staring at it for a bit and just kind of, I was like, maybe later, but I actually did it, so yay. But a lot of this, I think tree chopping is at level 77 now.
Can't measure mine.
No reason, you know, it just kind of, you know, kind of just happened one day. I sat back and it just went boop all the way up there. I'm like, whoa! How did that get there? It's a mystery. Okay. Trying to get these last ones to domino in. One tree left. Get it! Get it! No! Yeah, it's good, man. Ah, he avoided it. Hey, you survived! Congrats! Alright. Just finishing up the rest of these trees here. And the new cycle the cycle of trees will begin anew. I think we're at the end of this cart though. Indeed we are. Okay. I'll simply grab the next one. I am kind of surprised though with how long we've been hanging around at the house that we haven't had a raid yet. But you know, there's like 10 more minutes left. Could easily pop up. It ain't hard to see that much wood coming. That's fair. I mean, well, sometimes they catch me by surprise. Especially when they're dominoing and I'm not paying attention to what's directly above my head. They can catch me by surprise. But I guess that means, that Greylings have better spatial awareness than I do. Maybe that's not a good thing. Are you quoting from the Minecraft Bible right now? Are you for real right now? What is that cat face? What is that emoji? There's more like it. Nice. Oh, you have it too. There's 2 cat faces. Oh yeah, no, I saw that. I did see that. You know, the Discord emotes that I have, I wonder... Well, I actually don't have the slots open to do that. I wish I had more slots available to me for stream emotes versus, you know, like just the Discord emotes, because you can do a lot of Discord emotes even without Nitro. But you gotta be a bigger streamer than say me to have more regular emotes. More free ones, I would say. Because then I could always put more emotes out, but it would be like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 subscription, and it's like, especially the tier 2s and 3s, I don't anticipate that anytime soon. Maybe a tier 1 or 2, but like a couple of those, but nah. So it's like I could technically fill those slots out, but I don't, because no one would be able to use them. found it! Yes, my sister made that one, actually. She was like, hey, Tusara, I've had a little free time lately, and I was kind of like goofing around in my little drawing app, and do you want to see this little face that I made? And I was like, oh yeah, sure, hit me with it. And so she showed it to me, and she was like, can you make this a new emote? I'm like, you know what, man? I'll try. I'll give it a shot. I'll see if I have any slots available. And I did have to make space. I don't remember which one I shifted. It might have been... Did I move copper? Is that what I moved? So if I come over here and I hit viewer rewards and I hit emotes, what do I have sitting here? Yes, I moved copper into my my log of standard emotes. So it's still there. I can switch it back in when it becomes relevant again. Well, I guess this game has copper, but it was not getting used much. So I figured another silly little face would work. Feeling there would be an incentive for people to use them. Yeah, but who's gonna pay extra money for like 2 more emotes? Especially when, what is it, like a... Tier 2s and 3s are definitely more expensive subscriptions. I guess I could, and see if that's enough for people to be like, hey, I want to subscribe. I can check it out. I know I've got a crying emote in there for tier 1. Got just a sad little guy. Let me see. I should have access to him. Yes. There he is. I have that guy. I think that is the only tier 1 I've got. I just need to make other travelers of increasing rarity. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah! I think is that... Almost looks like Bart. Oh, it's Nya. Yeah, Jamie's got a lot of good emotes. I do like I like the crying one. I feel like, I like drawing them. Those little, I like to, obviously I primarily draw their faces, but when I do get into like drawing their bodies, I do like drawing them. Just doesn't happen too often. Oh, speaking of the travelers, one of the nurses was like, is this like a character? He's like, no, he's just my little traveler. I just kind of, like, I just draw him. He's just my fella. And she was like, man, if like, you had this on a shirt, I would buy it. I was like, really? You would? My travelers are marketable! Oh, man, you know what would be kind of cute? If I ever wanted to do that, I would plaster travelers everywhere. You know, I bought this sticker once, and like the thing that it arrived on, there was like a lot of like extra sticker space that did not have a pattern on it. It was just like blank white, but it was still like a sticker sheet. And so I drew a traveler on it and cut that out, and I'm like, yes, I have a traveler sticker. That might be fun to do one day. Oh, misshapen Gromit from Wallace and Gromit. Is that another Jamie? No. I see. I don't think I've heard of that streamer, Not the Mountain. I gotta check that out. What was it? Not the Mountain. Yes, I will have to look at that. Their emotes are funny. Yeah, I feel like I need to draw more little guys. Drawing travelers, I mean, it's easy to do. They're very easy to draw, and they're very cute. I like them. Like I said, they're my little guys. She actually made some of Jamie's emotes. Oh, if you recall. Well, that's really cool. You know, my sister ended up drawing a lot of those little emojis. And she was like, are you gonna use these? And it's like, I'll try to find a way to use some of them. But this is a lot, dude. She drew like, it's like 10 or 12 of these little guys. It's like, dang, dude, I don't think I have that many slots. Especially for Twitch, I don't have that many slots. So if you're watching, bro, sorry, I really don't have the slots. Well, I could make some of them higher tiers. In which case, I do have some slots. But the reason I even brought up emotes was thinking about I have, like, in the Discord, I have a bunch of, like, cutouts of different, like, silly cats. And a couple silly dogs. And I wonder if it would be funny to have some of them. I think it was mostly Jamie's stream avatars that K2 made, although maybe some emotes too. Jamie has some good stream avatars. Some of them are really cute. Do they ever, out of curiosity, do you know if they ever do like the face cams again? I only ask because there's this one screenshot floating around of them flipping off the camera, and it's kind of funny. I don't know if it was for any, it's like someone made, oh, that's not going to work because I don't have energy. Well, I guess I should just drop everything first. There we go. Ooh, come on now. Ah, there we go. Probably a couple. W, you. Up. There we go. Nope, that's not the button that I wanted. That, and then that, yes. Aha! They haven't done a face cam stream since Scaredy. Maybe there was during the one surgery eve? Perhaps. It's been a little too long for me since I've been over there. I pop in every now and then, but I'm typically busy with my own stream stuff, because I think we kind of stream on the same days, I think. I think they also do Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays.
Yep.
So because our streams end up overlapping, sometimes I'll pop in before my stream starts. And kind of like, it's like I've got everything set up and I'll sit in their stream for a minute and then I'll start mine. An hour and a half apart. Yeah, I think they start sooner than I do. Yeah, let's see. I start at 8:30. Yeah, okay, that tracks. There we go. Was that the last of the wood? It might have been. I think it is. I'm sorry, I just noticed it was an hour and a half apart. Sorry, that's a very important distinction there. Apart versus apart. Alright, how are we looking? Yes, okay, so no more wood. Oh, we do have more stuff. Alright, hold on. I have more things to put away. Tears. Oh, I thought Abart was intentional. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out for a typo. Here we go. What about this? No, it's here. And it's this one. It's this button, not the other button. Even when I had my regular controller, I would mess that up. There we go. Oh, you love typos? Yeah, they are funny. We'll say that sometimes they strike at the wrong moment, though. Like if you're... I hear them. Like if you're in a very, like, serious discussion and you get a very silly typo, it's like, oh man, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make light of this. That really was a misclick. But other times you can just be like, LMAO, typo in chat. Alright, you stinkers, where are you? I heard you making noises out here. Hi, I'm not looking for you guys. I mean, we can fight, I guess, but I'm not looking for you. I'm looking for the other ones. Never want to end up falling apart. I hear your whistles. I will pick up the... Oh, hi! Get in. Where are they? See, you're whistling, but there aren't any thistles around.
It's because it's behind you. You ran past it.
There they are. Whoops. I was doing too much running. I saw Grey Dwarf eyes. Oh! Wow, you guys really blend into the dark, don't you? Whoa!
Hello, troll.
Hey man, don't hit the wall!
So, that first batch that you went after, there was a second batch that was visible from where you were at, and you just took off running.
Oh, you're talking... No, not there. Oh, these guys.
Uh-huh. And then there's berries everywhere.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pick up the berries at the moment, though. My inventory's full.
Okay.
I have to come back for those. A total eclipse of the Bart. Whoa! What are you doing here?
How appropriate. Turn around, bright eyes.
What does it mean, bright eyes?
It's the next lyric in the song.
No, I know, but why do they say bright eyes?
So it's like wide open eyes and just, you know.
Hey! You pushed me back through the door.
It's like starstruck or whatever.
Oh, okay, that makes
No.
sense. Total eclipse of the Bart. Alright, I'll pick up the berries. Now that I've got space, I'll pick up the berries. There we go. Berries picked. Need the Dark Souls meme, berries picked. I do like that that I've gone from I'm worried about the trolls over here, not because they'll do damage to me, but they'll do damage to the base that I will have to repair. It's like, come on, man, I just put that back. Ah. Bright eyes is naivete. Naivete, thank you. Naivetivity. Alright. You got a problem with me? Did I see? No. Can I jump this? No. Okay. Getting very clear and concise answers tonight. I also have a cart that needs to come back. I completely forgot that I left that cart there, but I forgot that I had, but when I saw it, I was like, oh yeah! I left that there and I said I was gonna come back for it, and then I didn't! Like every time this happens. I didn't come back because I forgot. Alright, well, I might as well... We'll end stream when I get this back to the house. How's that sound? Get out of here. I do see. There were only two. Unless you saw a third.
No, it's just the tip.
We're strolling. Actually, we're running, but
I see red.
yes. I gotta say I believe the wow, that took it immediately. Hey. Oh, thank you. It actually lit up. Hi. Bye. What was I saying?
So, was
The
it
roof.
about the bridge?
The roofing instead of the stairs. I think that was your idea.
Yeah.
It was a good idea. I just wanted to let you know again that it was a good idea.
Okay.
Alright, well, we're most of the way back to the house. Bright Eyes, Naitivius. Bright Eyes is also a good band. The Star Wars baddie, General Naivetus. Yeah, he's not Grievous. He's Naivetus. I hear more skellies in the distance, but I don't see them, so I think it's okay. What I can't see won't hurt me. That's how that works, right? Hi, bird. Bye, bird. Jeez. You just kind of swooped in from behind. Get out of here. Steal your stuff. Oh, hey. There we go. There's combat happening, but as long as I don't see them, what I don't see won't hurt me. What I don't see won't hurt me. Aha! We made it to the house! Safe and sound, no bugs. Okay. Let me go ahead and hit save, because it's been 28 minutes apparently. Yippee! Alright. Go ahead and do my usual stuff. So, these links will take you to different spots. The Discord link will take you to my streaming Discord. It's where I post updates about things that are going on with my life, like you know, like the mini hiatus that we went on.
Yep.
You know, obviously I'll post when we're starting to stream as well, so that'll all be there. And then the VODs channel, it's where I've been posting all of the VODs from, like, I space it like a week apart, so if I had been streaming last week, today's Monday, so if I'd been streaming last Monday, that would be going up on the YouTube tonight. You ever had jelly made of splunts? I've never heard of splunts before. That's a very fun word to look at, too, splunts.
Not that I'm aware of.
Alright, and then last but not least, oh, I post updates on the community tab as well. I think I posted when I was on the hiatus. I think I posted it there too. I hope I did. I hope that wasn't confusing. Anyway, this link, this GoFundMe link, is for a friend of mine who is currently saving up for top surgery. I don't have any announcements. We're just gonna keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Eventually we'll start gearing back into, like, going into the Ashlands and stuff, but I'm kind of considering this like a probation period of we're getting back into it.
Yep.
So we're just gonna be chilling out, maxing and relaxing, all cool. Kind of doing stuff. Alright. Announcements have been made, and now we raid. Where do we go? Where do we go? I think I'm going to send you folks to Jesu, who is currently DJing some music, and apparently has tons of big announcements today. So I'll go ahead. Oh, cannot raid at this time. Rats! Fine, we'll find somebody else. Where do we go then? Can't do that. Most likely can't do that. How about John Lee music? That's more music. Yeah, it looks like chess is happening too. Music and chess. Okay, well, can I raid here? Yes, the raid begins. Alright, we are loading you into the cannon. I don't know, any questions, comments, snide remarks?
Not this time.
Not this time. Well, once again, I would like to say that I'm happy you're back.
And I'm glad that I was able to make it back.
Yeah, it's nice to stream with you.
Good stuff.
Alright, the raid is ready. I hope you all enjoyed tonight's stream, and we will see you folks next time. Bye, everyone!
Bye-bye.
Beep.